Well, I thought I'd add a little bit more to. I looked back over some of the stuff I already said, and uh, yeah, I think I probably should have written this whole thing out, and just. But it doesn't matter. I didn't do that, and at least I've got it out there somehow, and I have more information out than I did. I can't write all this stuff out. That's why I'm talking instead. Um, I talked about Fred, which is Frederica, great grandfather, or Susan's grandfather, who was the paramount chief of their town. That same town, uh, Milton Magai, Margai, same as Fred Magai, and Albert Magai, they're all from the same town. Uh, Milton was the oldest of 18 children, and of course there was Albert was a step brother, meaning that there was different wives, and that but there was 18 children, and Fred was one of them also. So Fred was the paramount chief of that town. Well, Milton went off to actually get into politics, became a doctor, did all kinds of stuff, and at some point got into politics. And when he did that, he worked with, at this time, Queen Elizabeth was, because it was a colony, literally the person that ran Sierra Leone at that time. And so he worked with the British government, Queen Elizabeth, and was instrumental in getting them to say, okay, guess what? We're going to turn this colony back over to the people. And so in doing that, Milton ran for and won the very first prime minister, independent prime minister of Sierra Leone. So it was pretty cool. So he really, not only did he change it to rule by the people, but away from the British government. Albert, his stepbrother, so Milton did that for so many years. He actually died while he was still in office, and then Albert took over. So both those are brothers of Fred. And so one of the things I thought was interesting is that when I bring Susan and Frederica over from Liberia to live with me, I don't know, 2, 3 years old. I don't know when she first. Hey, I want some cereal. Okay, let's go look for some cereal. Bum 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 bum. I want like that one right there. I said, okay. I look at it, and this is 1986. I'm pretty sure. And it said whatever the name of the brand was, and it said a foreign coin, money, is in every box. And you go, wow. Okay, well, I don't know what that's all about. It's kind of a gimmick of some sort. Get the cereal home, pour it out. I think she pretty loved it. And we go to the point where the coin comes out. It's a little coin. I mean, it's in a little cellophane package, and you open it up and you look at it, and it was a coin that said Milton Magai. It was a coin made after him for Sierra Leone, being the first president of Sierra Leone and the prime minister of Sierra Leone. So I don't think that happens that often. I mean, you know, this is when you go, a lot of things happen in life. I start to wonder, is this supposed to be, or why is that happening? But to get a family coin, a coin from your family in a cereal box, that's unusual, I think. I just want to go back also and say that, so Frederica had her birthday. Well, first off, we talked about her having toys and did whatever, 6 months, 9 months old. But on her birthday, her first birthday, I worked for, the casino was at, and I worked for Hotel Africa. And so I was able to get, right by the pool, a place for her to have her first birthday. And one of the people I worked with was called Crazy Duck. Now, honestly, everybody was crazy, but he was actually called Crazy Duck. You know, there was the Mighty Eagle. I'm No Man. I mean, there's all this stuff going on. But for her birthday, Crazy Duck's wife made cakes. And I mean, I got a picture of this, and that's the only problem with this kind of stuff. I got so many pictures of that coin. I got all that stuff, but I'm not going to show it on TV, or I don't know how to do it. Let's put it that way. But she made a cake with a doll, and a dress, huge dress, which was a cake with all the frosting and all that stuff. And it was wonderful. It was just like unbelievable. Back to Crazy Duck, he actually was the first one I met, one of the first people I met there, because I worked with him. He was a technician. And I said, well, I'm taking this chloroquine for malaria. What do you think? He goes, I don't take that. I've been here 4 years. I've never had malaria. I don't take that stuff. I go, really? Yeah, it's not good for you. I go, well, I kind of read different things, but malaria's not good for you. He goes, well, I've never had it. You don't need it. I'm not taking it. You shouldn't take it. I said, okay. Well, I'd read enough to go, well, I'm going to still take it. But I listened to what he said. Within a couple months, I come out of there's 4 sections in our building. I come out of my section, and there's Crazy Duck, white as a ghost. It didn't look like he was even breathing. I come over and I go, and he couldn't respond. And we picked him up, we took him to the hospital. Oh yeah, he had malaria, severe malaria. He almost died from it. Did he start taking chloroquine after that? I really don't know. But I did. I kept taking it. And that was pretty important to do what you should do. So at Perdika's birthday, I just want to say this because 38 years later, which is now, back then, I wanted to get her a present. And so my mom had a collection of bears that would fill an entire universe, pretty much. So every bear that she's ever saw, she fell in love with. Let's get one of those. Let's get 2 of these. Let's get that. And so everywhere you look, there's bears. And I thought, well, it's kind of in my blood system or something, my biology. And I thought, well, I'm going to go look for a bear. So I go through the little shops in Monrovia. Bear? What do you mean a bear? I go, like a bear, like a stuffed animal. Oh, we got a rabbit over here. I go, okay, no, it's not a bear. And a lot of them just didn't even know what a stuffed animal was, I think. I mean, not here, I'm sorry, not here. But look around. So anyway, I'm looking around. And they said, no, I don't have them here. Even the one that had the rabbit didn't have anything. And I go to another place, and we don't have anything here. And I'm just looking around, and I look up, and on a shelf, I'm telling you, 10 feet up. I go, my God, that looks like a stuffed bear. And I asked the person, they go, I don't know what that is. Oh, well, can you bring it down? So they bring it down, and I look and I go, oh, that's a bear. Is it? Yeah, I'll have to get this. Okay, well, here you go. And I got it. And so that was Fredika's first bear. She got it at her first birthday. So she's 38 now. She still has the bear. In fact, the bear has gone through, after 38 years, a couple different events where they have taken the bear and said, well, we ought to sew this up. We can wash the bear. We can do these. So she just had that done at Reams of Gold, it's called. Unbelievable. People send their stuff from all over the world to have them redone. I mean, we're talking about things from Disneyland just very expensive antique stuff. And so Teddy Bear's back, looking great. And I guess that was a good present, still around. So I'm still around. I'm thinking the same thing. So let me see here. I'm going, smaller paper, smaller to read, but I'm thinking now, okay, I'm getting ready. So now I'm back. I think I've kind of caught you up with some things maybe I forgot to say. I'll probably find other things I should have said, but getting ready to go out to Magnifico, which is the name of, and it's Minerals Africa, I don't know, Magnifico, and out in the jungle. And so I'm getting ready to go out there. And a friend of mine that I knew the first time I was here, so I'm on the second time I'm out there. His name was Kiwi. He was British, and somehow he lived in Brazil, but whatever. And they call him Kiwi. And we became good friends. In fact, his girlfriend there was one of Susan's girlfriends. And literally right now as we speak, Susan is moving from where we are here back to, I think it's Georgia or something like that, where she's at. So that's how close they were. They're still in touch. She's actually here in the U.S. also, and Susan's going back there to live with them. Or not live with them, but she's got her own she's going with her boyfriend T, and everything looks good, and but they love it back there. It looks more like Liberia than here. So I thought that was kind of cool. Kiwi, I tell him why I'm there. So he's a technician too. I'm there. I'm going to be going out to be in charge of a gold dredging operation. He goes, you got to be kidding! That sounds great. I said, yeah. I said, but it may not happen for a while. Well, it didn't happen for another 5 years. But I told him about it and said the whole thing. Anyway, so when I left, he stayed. You know, you could sign on for another contract, another year, sign on for as long as you want. We kept signing on. Was there working, and then he heard that in fact this operation was now starting. And he thought, well, I know where that is. And so he talked to some people, and he went out there. Now, this is before, I actually just months before I got there. He went out there, and they hired him and said, oh, yeah, you know No-Man? Yeah. You know Glenn? Yeah. Okay, well, you're hired. Let's, put you to work or whatever. Before I got there, he comes down with black water fever. And I'm telling you, I don't, there's not a disease or a poisonous snake or whatever. It's got everything there. So you got to be careful of everything. And I don't even know how you get black water fever, but I've heard of it. He became deathly ill. And the last I heard, it was just before I got there, maybe a month before I got there. Kiwi, oh, yeah, wow. Yeah, they took him away in a stretcher. I don't think he made it. I mean, he was that bad. Guess what? He always stayed in touch with me, and nobody's heard from him since. So Sophie was his girlfriend. That's the one that Susan still knows. And she's asked me if he ever contacts you, and he would have if he was still alive. And so, not a good story, I guess, but just tells you that I'm there now, and I'm thinking, okay, blackwater fever, is that something I can put on my list? I mean, I've had malaria, but he died from this. Whatever, I don't want to do any of this stuff. So anyway, it's important to keep in mindset is that I'm in a different place, different rules, different things happen. So the first day that I come into Monrovia before I go out to Manifco, and it was Jowecan is the name of the town, out in the jungle, basically, out in the middle of nowhere. I'm getting ready. I'm there. I'm getting ready to go out there. And I think I told you there's newspapers that come out, and that was 5 years ago when they had, anyway. But I'm reading this one newspaper, and it says, and here's what it says, 200 people attack Manifco with machetes. That was that day or the day before. I'm going tomorrow. That's where I'm going. I'm supposed to be in charge of that place. So they know they know there's gold there. You can see why. I think I said in the last thing, I need a gun or something, Glenn. Can you get me something? Oh yeah, no problem. Of course you need a gun. And then that's when he left me the shotgun. He said, oh geez, I wish I should have. Yeah, you should have. I wish you had have. And now I got a shotgun that I really can't carry with me and do whatever. But it just tells you that, when there's money involved, they know what you're doing, and everybody's looking for it, and they've got machetes, and a lot of people, and anyway, so I still contact the people out there. Yeah, no, we're okay. They took some things, but we're still fine, and come on out. Okay, I can do that. I want to go back just to tell you that I said I'd gone to the pyramids and done all this stuff in Kenya. Well, one thing I thought was interesting, and because I watched some of this, is I had hired a plane because I had heard about this island called Lamu, L-U, let me read here, who knows how you spell Lamu, and it was like this island all by itself. There's no cars on it. All they have is donkeys that just roam free, and when you want to go to the store or whatever you go to, you just grab onto a donkey and bring them over, and you pack your stuff and you go back, and then you let it go, and it just feeds off the land. And evidently, no, I couldn't say anybody took care of these. They kind of took care of themselves, but they were domesticated enough that they hung out, and if you wanted to use one, you could use them. So that was great. So I hired this